How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be speaking about Newcastle, and their fans might finally be getting their wish, and they finally might be getting rid of Mike Ashley. We're also going to be speaking about Arsenal, and the rumours are getting stronger about the players and the fact that they are refusing a wage cut. And we're also going to be speaking about Manchester City's Bernardo Silva and the possibility of him returning to Benfica.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is Newcastle. And to tell you something, if you're a Newcastle fan, you may well be about to crack the champagne open, because you look like you may well finally be getting rid of Mike Ashley. Now, a lot of Newcastle fans that I know and have already spoke to about this current situation have said that they're not going to get too happy too soon, because they've been in this position before. And only when the deal is signed, sealed and delivered will they start to celebrate. Now, we go and look at the story, and PCP Capital Partners are in advanced talks with Mike Ashley to end his 13-year tenure as owner of Newcastle United. 13 years, it don't seem that long. Poor Newcastle fans having to put up with him for 13 years. This follows significant company house legal documentation that emerged on Tuesday morning, proving legal framework for a deal was being put into place by the two parties. Amanda Stavley's PCP Partners and the Saudi Public Investment Fund, PIF, were in talks to buy Newcastle. It is unclear as to why there is no mention of PIF in any of the company's house documentation. It goes on to say that supplementary documentation has led to claims Ashley is lending PCP money to help complete the deal. It has always been the case that Mike Ashley was willing to structure payments in a bid to reach a sale. The sale will be a cash deal. However, that transaction will only take place once the Premier League has ratified the deal. The price agreed by Mike Ashley is closer to 300 million rather than the original asking price of around 340 million. And it was thought that the coronavirus pandemic has had a significant impact on the value of the club. The Saudi fund, controlled by Prince Mohammed bin Salman, will hold 80% of the club's shares, while Amanda Stavely will hold 10% of the shares, and it is expected she will play a key role in the running of the club. The final 10% will be controlled by billionaire brothers David and Simon Reuben. They have significant property interests in the Newcastle area, including owning the city's racecourse. If the Premier League ratify the deal, the prospective buyers are understood to have earmarked significant investment into the club. Talks have been underway with the Saudi Wealth Fund for the past 12 months, with the deal being condemned Project Zebra, reflecting the famous Newcastle kit. It is believed Ashley is presently at his Florida home in Miami, while Stavely is believed to be at her central London home. Stavely had failed with a bid to buy the club in 2017. A relegation compensation clause was understood to be a sticking point at one stage in the talks. Ashley has been in control at St James's Park since purchasing a majority stake in the club in 2007. Newcastle have been twice relegated from the Premier League during Mike Ashley's reign, with supporters protesting on numerous occasions against his ownership. So there we go. It's pretty straightforward and a very significant move. And Newcastle fans, they might well be close to getting their wish. You know, like I was saying, they're not going to count their chickens too soon, and they're not going to crack the champagne open yet, not till it's signed, sealed and delivered. But this may well be exciting times for Newcastle fans. Of course, the money that could be invested in Newcastle, as soon as you mention a Saudi prince, you think of what's happened at Manchester City, and the amount of money that's been put into them and what they've achieved. So Newcastle fans, you can't blame them for thinking a bit ahead of themselves, that maybe the good times are here. Maybe Newcastle United can get the trophies that their fan base deserves, because they've got the stadium in terms of its size. They've got the fan base, unbelievable fan base. The Geordies, very, very passionate supporters, and I've got a lot of time for their fans and their club. So yeah, this might be the turning of the corner for Newcastle United, and I suppose it puts a little bit of pressure on some other clubs as well, even Arsenal, for example, because, you know, if a team like Newcastle came along and they ended up with owners that are going to splash the cash and they're going to be, you know, trying to compete for that top four and everything, it just makes things even more difficult. So very, very interesting. Now, sticking with Arsenal, of course, there has been reports and rumours over the last few days about Arsenal players refusing to take a wage cut. And it's not as clear cut as it may sound. And again, it's only a report. We still are not seeing any concrete evidence or facts to back these claims. But the report goes that, like the rest of the Premier League teams, Arsenal face stumping up their share of a huge £750 million bill to broadcasters if the campaign is voided. And the Arsenal players were reportedly furious at being told cuts are likely to be even more severe than the initial offer on the table should the season be scrapped. Premier League chiefs still don't know when the season can recommence following the global spread of coronavirus. Arsenal are currently fronting an enormous wage bill that runs to £230 million each year. Wow. It's mad when you think about it. It is no secret that they have the wage bill of a Champions League side, but with the Europa League revenue. And it is reported that some players believe the pay cuts are to mask the fact that the club have been overspending on player wages for years and are now trying to get themselves out of a hole. Players agreeing to the 12.5% cut would have saved Arsenal more than 25 million. Chiefs were willing to bring the figure down to 7.5% if Arsenal qualified for the Europa League. And there was a full rebate on the cards if Arsenal had secured Champions League qualification. Now, I look at this, and like I said, there's no actual concrete evidence on it, but I'm with the players on this one. And the reason why I'll be with the players on this is because the players are not refusing, you know, deferrals and taking a percentage off their wage and whatnot. This is about the actual cut. And they're basically being told, if you get in the Europa League, then, you know, it's 7.5. If you get Champions League qualification, then we won't bother taking anything off you. And as a player, you've got to be sitting looking at that and going, hold on a minute. Where's our owner? Where's Stan Kroenke? You know, the multi-billionaire. You know, you look at Stan Kroenke's wealth, even within his family. His wife is the heiress to the Walmart chain. Think about it. You're asking these players to take a wage cut. Something that's not written in their contracts already. I know it's a unique situation we're in at the moment, but players, when they sign contracts, move to clubs, extensions, whatever it may be, obviously have stipulations in there. You know, there could be clauses about qualifying for the Champions League. You get a bonus, goal bonuses, appearance bonuses, you know, that kind of stuff. But I can't imagine there being anything in any contract about how your wage will be cut by X amount of percent if you don't get into the Europa League or if you don't get into the Champions League. That's not going to be in players' contracts. So players are looking at that now and going, well, hold on a minute. How on earth is this being thrown in there now and being put onto us? How is this our fault all of a sudden? Because it's not. You know, you've got to look at the owner, Stan Kroenke. We are reportedly one of the wealthiest clubs in world football. Despite the pandemic and everything that's going on right now, we are still one of the wealthiest clubs. Yes, the wage bill is ridiculously high. But listening to what they're saying between the lines there, that it seems like the club are looking at this as a good way of flattening things out and getting themselves out of the mess that they put themselves in the first place. You know, that's not the players' responsibility. It shouldn't be down to them. It should be down to the management, surely, the owners. Very, very interesting. And no doubt in the next few days, we'll get a little bit more on this. And I'll be interested to see whether any, you know, factual, confirmation comes out, and then I will speak about it accordingly. Last piece of news involves Bernardo Silva, and it's a brief story, and he's just been saying that he reaffirmed his commitment to Manchester City, but does want to return to play for Benfica before he is too old to make a difference. When asked if he wants to return to his boyhood club, Silva told reporters, "I don't know how to answer that. What I can tell you is not in 1, 2, 3, 4 years for sure, because I am in a great club. I'm enjoying my career a lot. I don't want to go back now, but I don't want to go when I'm too old. I want to go help my team when I am in a good physical condition. I don't know the exact age, not too old, but not now. I'm a Benfica fan. I used to go to all the games with my dad, so my dream was always to play for Benfica. And when I was 19 and playing for the second team, I didn't have the opportunity to play for the first team because the manager didn't want me there or think I was able to play for the first team. It was a huge disappointment for me to have to leave, go to Monaco to have a good career because I've never played for my team. I have this gap in my heart and I need to fill it. Not now, obviously, but if they want me there, I'll definitely go back to Benfica one day." So yeah, it's just pretty much straightforward stuff. He's giving an interview and they're talking at the moment. Nobody else has got much else to do except give interviews and talk. And, the question was raised that would he ever go back to his boyhood club? And, like a lot of players that, started out somewhere, they would like to go back there, especially if they spent most of their career away from that boyhood club and out of their country. They want to go back to where they started. It's like full circle. So yeah, no doubt Bernardo Silva will go back to Benfica one day if, he's still playing at a really high level. And I don't doubt that because he's a absolutely quality player. But he's saying there, not in the next 1, 2, 3 or 4 years or so. But maybe after. But you never know. Football changes all the time, and it may be sooner and it may never happen. We never know. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. Get yourself involved. Let me know. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And also make sure if you have not turned the notification bell on, turn it on, because then you will see all of my stuff straight away. Very simple. I'll see you lot soon. I'm out of here.